the pilot says, please remain in your seats until we have finished our taxiing and reached the gate. Remember that things may have shifted in their things. And it says, as they're still taxiing, and they're saying, and for everyone who's still seated, Merry Christmas. And so, you see, it worked. They're walking in now. So part of what I wanted to talk about was the time when there is no time, and that is Shabbat. And you shouldn't be bound by time things on Shabbat. So the fact that our clock is a little bit off, and the fact that our blessers are just showing up, that it's okay, because we don't have obligations. In fact, I'm going to let you know, our favorite, so my favorite part of the week is Torah study, Saturday mornings. And so Saturday morning Torah study goes from 9:45 to, as you may notice, I write 11-ish. And then services start somewhere after 11. There have been a few people over the years that have been very angry because they get there at 11 and services haven't started at 11. But they won't start probably at 11 on Shabbat. And they'll usually end around 12 anyway. But it's just, it's kind of one long, wonderful experience. But I'm warning you, if you come on Saturday, which is our favorite part of the week, it may not start on time. The 11 o'clock. The 9:45 starts like at 9:30. We're so eager to start working together, studying. Excuse me. Before we start, I need a slip. I've been sitting here for 2 months already.
Aged water.
I've been very good about not needing a drink up until now. Excuse me. But part of what I'm going to talk to you about later includes this Shabbat thing, about how it feels to breathe the air on Shabbat. If you've been to Jerusalem, well, I'll tell you a funny story about Jerusalem. So I lived in Jerusalem for a year. I was a student in a leadership training program right outside of high school. And I love Jerusalem. I mean, it's my favorite place in the world. And then after Jerusalem, I was there for 5 months. I was on kibbutz for a few months and a different kibbutz for a few months. But I love Jerusalem. And I'm going to talk to you a little more about it later, especially Shabbat. And then I went back to Albany, New York, and I studied in Albany, and I was there for about 6 years. And then we moved to Chicago. And one day I was walking around in downtown Chicago under the L, which is the elevated subway, but it's the elevated train. And all of a sudden I had this like palpable memory of Jerusalem. And it was awesome. It was like, wow. I mean, I almost felt like if I turned around, I'd see Jerusalem stone everywhere. And then I realized what it was, because I closed my eyes and I felt like Jerusalem. It was the smell of the exhaust of a truck that drove by. Because Israel doesn't have the same rules, or at least they didn't, about anti-pollution things. And the smell of the truck brought me back to Jerusalem. That's sad. Yeah, or Egged buses, exactly. So, but having said, forget about that part. Forget about the fact that it reminds me of truck fumes. Breathing in Jerusalem, you felt like you were breathing where everyone who you knew about in all of your favorite biblical stories, that it was an awesome place. You were breathing history. And Shabbat is a little bit like that. So we start every Shabbat not with breathing just because we're breathing in Jerusalem time or we're breathing in Shabbat air. We are breathing in the extra soul that accompanies us on Shabbat. And we're just taking a breath because sometimes that's the only way to relax. You're constricted because you're stressed. That's why I like to breathe at the beginning. So we're going to take a deep breath. Let it out slowly. And when you do that, you're supposed to do in through your nose and out through your mouth. So try again. And out through your mouth. That's good. I still laugh at all the people who refuse to breathe when I ask them to. But that's okay. It's your problem if you don't want to breathe. We are welcoming Claire Maisel and Debbie Kamiker and Rachel, and not Leah Kamiker, to come up and help us bless the candles and bless the not quite wine. We are going to be turning to page 82. And as is our tradition, if we were at home, and this is like home away from home, we are going to rise if it's comfortable for you to stand and then sit and then stand and then sit. Yeah, see, I heard that. Page 82. Good Shabbos. Glad you're here. Page 82.
Good to be here. Page 82. Here you go.
Look how coordinated you are in your colors and everything. This looks,
The memo.
no, but it looks good. You should stand between them.
Turn this way towards the camera.
These lights are only flickering flames, yet flames illumine our uncertain steps. Flames remind us of Sabbaths long past and of their beauty that delighted our hearts. May they inspire us to work for the great Sabbath of peace. You can join me. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahad ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
We praise you, eternal God, sovereign of the universe. You hallow us with your mitzvot and command us to kindle the Sabbath lights.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. And you peek at the candles. And now, are we doing this mostly in Hebrew or mostly in English? What do you want to do?
Your call.
You're doing the Kiddush? Are you doing the Kiddush? Mostly in Hebrew, mostly in English?
You want to do it? Where's
So 167 and 166. 167 on the bottom. 167 on the bottom is just the Bori Priyagafen thing. Take this. Somebody hold this up for us. And do that line in Hebrew, and then do all that in English.
Okay, thank you.
My pleasure.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri hagafen.
Amen.
We praise you, eternal God, sovereign of the universe, creator of the fruit of the vine.
Keep going. You got to do from the dot.
Okay. We praise you, eternal God, sovereign of the universe. You call us to holiness with the mitzvah of Sabbath, the sign of your love, a reminder of your creative work and of our liberation from Egyptian bondage, our day of days. On Shabbat especially, we hearken to your call to serve you as a holy people. We praise you, O God, for the holiness of Shabbat.
Amen.
Amen.
L'chaim. There's not a lot to share over there. We should have put more in there today. You are welcome to be seated if you say Shabbat Shalom to the people around you. Somebody you came in with, somebody you didn't come in with. Hey, Shabbat Shalom.
Ready? Yep.
You're good. You're good. I had enough jokes to tell. Shabbat Shalom. Glad you're here. Shabbat
I'm
Shalom.
glad to be here.
I'm so glad you're here. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you.
Shabbat Shalom. So if we were at home, we'd be kissing and hugging and blessing each other now too. But we turn to page 83 at the bottom of the page. There are days when we seek material things and measure failure by what we do not own.
On Shabbat, we wish not to acquire, but to share.
There are days when we exploit nature with reckless greed.
On Shabbat, we stand in awe.
This was one of those weeks when we had to stand in wonder before the mystery of creation, didn't we? And I don't think that we were the one that was exploiting nature this week. I'm just saying. There are days when we think only of ourselves.
On Shabbat, we open our hearts to the needs of others.
Therefore, we welcome Shabbat.
Day of rest, day of joy, day of peace.
And we welcome the angels that will accompany us all of Shabbat. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
ברכוני לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון. מי מלך מלאכי המלאכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. צאתכם לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון. מי מלך מלאכי המלאכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא.
The synagogue is the sanctuary of Israel. Born of our longing for the living God, it has been to Israel throughout our wanderings a visible token of the presence of God in our people's midst. Its beauty is the beauty of holiness. Steadfast it has stood as the champion of justice, mercy, and peace.
Its truths are true for all people. Its love is a love for all people.
Its God is the God of all people. As it has been said, my house shall be called a house of prayer for all peoples. Let all the family of Israel, all who hunger for righteousness, all who seek the eternal, find God here, and here find life. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה.
אמן.
בעלמא דברה חירותה וימליך מלכותה. בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי בכל בית ישראל. בעגלה בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעלם לעלמי עלמיה. יתברך יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמך דקודשה בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. ברכו את אדוני המבורך. ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד. Oh God, how can we know you? Where can we find you? You are as close to us as breathing, yet you are farther than the farthermost star. You are as mysterious as the vast solitudes of night, yet as familiar to us as the light of the sun. To Moses you said, "You cannot see my face, but I will make all my goodness pass before you." Even so does your goodness pass before us, in the realm of nature and in the joys and sorrows of life. When justice burns within us like a flaming fire, when love evokes willing sacrifice from us, when to the last full measure of selfless devotion we demonstrate our belief in the ultimate triumph of truth and righteousness, then your goodness enters our lives and we can begin to change the world. And then you live within our hearts, and we, through righteousness, behold your presence. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. I know Rachel wants to do this with me today, but you're too old for this now. I'm sorry. No, just kidding. I'm looking around. I don't have any other students here, and I just think of when she was my student. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. And before we continue, I want to point something out that's really important. I was talking about timelessness and time things. On this page, on page 88, in the Hebrew we just chanted, and the way we chanted it, it's not just that we've been doing it like this for hundreds and thousands of years potentially, but the words, this is a direct quote from Torah. And there's an awesome thing that you don't see when you don't know the Hebrew in Torah, and that is that there are times, in Hebrew first of all, in biblical Hebrew, there's a past tense and there's a future tense. There's no present tense. But there are times when you look at words and they look like they're past tense. And they look like they're completed actions, but you're supposed to understand them as future tense, as that something you're supposed to do. That's what this is. If you looked at these words, you would see, and you loved your eternal God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your being. And these words which you had said on your heart, all of this is written in the past tense. But if you know the little secret about changing the accents to words, then you know that you're supposed to look at past tense and see future tense. And when you read Torah, you're seeing, bless you, when you read Torah, you're seeing the past and the future all at the same time. And it's an awesome, timeless thing that we share together. We're going to continue on page 89 responsively. I hope you read the English while we're doing the Hebrew, because we just skipped it. I, the Eternal One, have called you to righteousness and taken you by the hand and kept you. I have made you a covenant people, a light to the nations.
We are Israel, witness to the covenant between God and God's children.
This is the covenant I make with Israel. I will place my Torah in your midst and write it upon your hearts. I will be your God, and you shall be my people.
We are Israel. Our Torah forbids the worship of race or nation, possessions or power.
You who worship gods that cannot save you, hear the words of the Eternal One. I am God, there is none else.
You have proclaimed an exalted vision for the world.
Hate evil and love what is good. Let justice well up as waters and righteousness as a mighty stream.
We are Israel, schooled in the suffering of the oppressed.
You shall not oppress your neighbors nor rob them. You shall not stand idle while your neighbor bleeds.
We are Israel, taught to beat swords into plowshares, commanded to pursue peace.
Violence shall no longer be heard in your land, desolation and destruction within your borders. All your children will be taught of your God, and great shall be the peace of your children.
We are Israel, O God, when we are witnesses to your love and messengers of your truth.
You are my witnesses, says the Eternal One, and my servant whom I have chosen. Know me, therefore, and put your trust in me.
We are Israel, O God, when we proclaim you, God our Redeemer, as did our ancestors on the shores of the Red Sea.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot osef ele, nora tehilot osef ele, malchutecha rahu vanecha, bokei ayam lifnei Moshe, zelianu ve'ameru, Adonai imloch, Adonai imloch, leolam va'ad. Baruch atah Adonai Ga'al Yisrael, we praise you, O God, Redeemer of Israel. May we lie down this night in peace and rise up to life renewed. O God, spread over us your shelter of peace, of quiet and calm, and bless us with rest. And let a time come when morning will bring no word of war or famine or anguish or flooding, a time of happiness, of contentment and rest. Baruch atah Adonai, haporeh sukat shalom, aleinu va'al kol amo Yisrael va'al Yerushalayim. We give thanks for the night and its rest, and the promise of peace for all the world. He knows we're going to sing. Vishameru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל עוד היא לעולם, עוד היא לעולם, עוד היא לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וירפש, שבת וירפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. Please rise for the tefillah, which begins on page 93. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Eternal God, open my lips that my mouth shall declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, Ve'Elohei Rachel, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanara, El Elyon, Gomer Hasadim Tovim, Ve'Koneh Hakol, Ve'Zocher Hasdei Avot v'Imahot, U'mevii Geula לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומשיח ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. God of all generations, of Abraham and Isaac and Jacob, of Sarah, Rebekah, Leah, and Rachel, be praised. Your wondrous creative power fills heaven and earth.
God of life and death, be praised. Through us, send help to the falling, healing to the sick, freedom to the captive. Confirm your faithfulness to those who sleep in the dust.
Awesome and holy God, be praised. With acts of love and truth, we hallow your name. As it is said, be holy, for I, your eternal God, am holy.
God of times and seasons, be praised. Enable us through Sabbath rest to explore and learn and impart the meanings of your Torah. Make our hearts ready to serve you this day and all days.
God, who answers prayer, be praised. May we, your people Israel, be worthy in our deeds and our prayer, wherever we live, wherever we seek you, In this land, in Zion restored, in all lands, you are our God.
Source of life and its wonders, be praised. You are the miracle within all we behold. You are goodness, you are compassion. We give thanks to you forever.
God of peace, of justice, and of love, be praised. Inspire us to banish forever hatred, war, and bloodshed. Help us to establish forever one human family united in peace. God of peace, bless us with peace.
Shalom Rama Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rama Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rava Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rava Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ve'tov b'necha levarech et Amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם.
We now take a moment for our own personal prayer.
And
the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you. Be acceptable to you.
Adonai Tzuri, Tzuri v'goali,
My rock and my redeemer.
Adonai Tzuri,
God, my rock.
v'goali.
At this time, we turn to the inside back cover of our prayer book as our hearts and our prayers turn to those who are ill or recuperating. Included in our prayers today are Carl Bagey, Carrie Bollinger, Randy Collier, Val Gold, Susan Israel, Sister Mary Joan, Sheila Lawrence, Jim Marler, Betty Ann Manheim, Amy Morris, Anthony Myers, Jada Wynn, Artis Robison, Justin Rutkowski, Ruth K. Slutsky, Dr. Sidney S. Slutsky, Joanne Smith, Mike Somer, Morris Somer, and Stephen Zelanka. If you have other names that you would like us to add to our prayers, I invite you to call them out.
Danny Cap and Linda Harper.
For all these names and for the names we choose to hold in our hearts and not say out loud, we pray together. O God, in our hearts we name those who are facing illness and pain. We join our prayers with the prayers of all who love them. Give them renewed comfort and courage. Strengthen in them the healing powers you have placed within us all. Guide the hands and hearts of those who are entrusted with their care. May the knowledge of your love and ours give added hope to them and to their dear ones. May they find even greater strength because our prayers are linked to theirs. Baruch atah Adonai, Rofeh HaCholim. We praise you, eternal God, the source of healing and health. Mi sheberach avotenu mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu mekor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. And it has become our tradition to add, Misheberach avotenu v'imotenu, may the one who blessed and protected our ancestors guard all those whom we have entrusted with the responsibility of defending our freedom and protecting us in this country, in the land of Israel, and everywhere they've been called to serve. May they return home safely, and let us say Amen.
Amen.
This week that included the river. We're thankful that as many people survived as this. This was amazing, amazing. So I talked about time. I talked about timelessness. There was, I don't know if you get the emails from, there are various places that send emails once a week that are supposed to try to inspire us. The Reform Movement sends out their weekly, 10 minutes of Torah, they call it. And they sent one out that talked a little bit about what it feels like to be Shabbat. How do you experience Shabbat? This past week, we had a basic Judaism class, and we tried to talk about Shabbat. And it's a hard thing to talk about. That's what I realized, that unless you've ever experienced a day that was the kind of peaceful that Shabbat is, it feels like when you try to describe to somebody what's Shabbat, then some people get kind of wrapped up in the thou shalt not part of Shabbat and what you don't do, and there's this list of the don'ts and the list of the do's, and it becomes overwhelming details. And that's not restful. And then there's the part about Shabbat where if I say, well, it's a day you're supposed to rest, and people say, oh, good, well, it's nap day. Well, that could be Shabbat too. But if you've ever experienced a Shabbat that truly lifted your spirits, refreshed you, I call it rejuvenated you. If you've ever experienced that, you know that it's not just that. There's also You get together. It has to do with getting ready for Shabbat. It has to do with when it's time, you're ready. You light the candles, and the table's already set, and the food is already cooked. And in some cases, as we learned on Wednesday, and the toilet paper's already torn. It doesn't happen for most of us. But in some places, when you think about it, everything's ready, and there's just not stress, the opposite. Absolute relaxation. And so in the weekly mailing that came out, there was a woman who wrote, and I don't remember who this was. I read the thing, and I should try to remember these things. But you can find it, or if you need to know, I will let you know. But it talked about how she said, the air feels different on Shabbat. And why does the air feel different? And don't think it's the truck fumes. I mean, I already went through that. If you're in Jerusalem, it's obvious because there's nothing happening. No cars, no buses, nothing happening. Could you picture Uri Drive every Saturday with no cars? No cars. I mean, it's just, and it's not because Clyde Fant is closed because of a river overflowing. I mean, no cars. It's the most amazing feeling. And people are out walking around. Sometimes you're going to services, sometimes you're just going to be with friends, and you're just walking. And you're appreciating what it feels like to be outside. You're noticing, hey, look what that cloud looks like. Look at the birds that just came to visit. Feel what that feels like to breathe that in. And it's an amazing feeling. Jerusalem isn't the only place in the world where you feel what a Shabbat feels like, but it's an awesome Kickstarter to understanding what Shabbat feels like. And you can have it, some of you have already done this, where you do have dinner ready, and you have the table set, and you light candles, and everybody is there. It's not, well, this one's going this way, and this one's going this way, and you're grabbing something quickly, and okay, bye, I'll see you later. Everybody's there. They're actually washed up and clean and maybe even dressed a little nicer, and everybody's there. You may have extra family or friends, and you sit down, and you have a wonderful meal, and there's no stress about the meal. And you eat the meal, and maybe, I don't know if you've ever experienced this, maybe after dinner you sing some songs, some Shabbat songs, and everybody's getting into it, and you're banging on the table sometimes, or you're just singing together and you're harmonizing, and everybody's singing. And then you sit around and you relax. You wake up the next morning whenever you want to, no alarms. And it's just an awesome time, and there's services or there's no services. Hopefully you've got Torah study in there somewhere. You're coming in, you're joining us. And you walk to shul. You don't worry about getting in the car. The car's too hot right now anyway. And it's just a wonder. And then you go home, and what do? What would you do on Shabbat? Perfect. You could jump into your PJs and take a nap. It would be perfectly legitimate. Excuse me. What did they put in the flowers today? It wasn't doing this until I got near the flowers. I hope that you get to experience that. And for some people, that feels like a torture to have to take a day off like that. And it's really not. It's really incredibly liberating. And let me tell you, as you know, you've heard me say this before, Saturday night if you want, or even Sunday, everything's still there. It's waiting for you. It's still waiting for you out there. So, but you suspend it. You suspend it for that one moment in time. And it feels so good. I remember when I was in high school, and I applied to go to, this time it was actually, I applied to go, was it to the Israel trip or to rabbinic school? I think this was the Israel trip. That I had to go into Manhattan and do these interviews. And I don't remember how it came up, but I said something about, on Shabbat, I never wear a watch. Now, are you forbidden to wear a watch on Shabbat? No, there's no reason why you'd be forbidden. There's nothing about watch unless it's one you have to tie or do something that you're not supposed to do on Shabbat. There's nothing forbidden about wearing a watch. I know people who wear them all the time and never take them off. They can keep them on. But when you take your watch off on Shabbat, does it mean you don't know what time it is? No, of course I know what time it is. There are clocks everywhere. I mean, you can ask somebody, there are clocks everywhere. I can find out what time it is, but I don't feel tied to the time. I just don't feel it. And so I did this interview, and 2 weeks later I was supposed to come back for part 2. And the people I spoke to said, we tried it. It's really nice. Just on Shabbat, you take off your watch. And I promise you, Friday, you're going to be looking at it and looking at it. And see, my watch is over here. You're looking at it and looking at it. And sometime in the middle of Saturday, you realize it's Shabbat. And it just feels really good. So I challenge you to figure out what's the best way to teach somebody about Shabbat. And I think the only way is to just experiencing it. I don't think that I could even describe it to you. I don't think I could spell out step by step what you should or shouldn't do and make it be Shabbat. But if you listen for a moment, you feel a little peace. That's what it feels like. You close your eyes and just listen. A little bit of kids, that's okay. And just realize it just is. And it's quiet and it's peaceful and it's wonderful. So with that, our president is out of town, and I am going to fill in for the president for a moment. And I'm going to say Shabbat Shalom, y'all. So I want to let you know a couple of the things. The film festival tonight, as you know, is showing the apprenticeship of Duddy Kravitz with a very young Richard Dreyfuss. We serve pizza and popcorn, and there's no fee for the movie or for the food or anything, but if you feel like making a donation, you are welcome to, but don't do it on Shabbat. I won't take your money. Feel what that feels like. No money on Shabbat. Next week, after the Oneg Shabbat, next week's movie is A Serious Man, which is not a serious movie, but it's not like you laugh at it because it's lots of jokes, but it's a really funny movie. It's by the Coen brothers, and if you don't know what that means, you should by now. No, I'm just kidding. We can talk about it later, but that's next week's movie. I started teaching adult education classes again this summer. We thought we were going to have Sundays and Wednesdays, but we've changed that plan because there are no Sundays for about 6 weeks, so there went that idea. But this Wednesday at 5:30, we're teaching beginning Hebrew. If you want to learn how to read those letters, now is the time to start. And then at 6:30, we're doing a basic Judaism class. And each week we get to decide what the next week's topic is. Last week they asked for Shabbat. This week we're talking about God. So if you want to talk about God, come and join us Wednesday at 6:30. On Thursday, for those of you who are in the Chai Mitzvah group, we have a Chai Mitzvah meeting at 7. And this Thursday is also Rosh Chodesh, which means we have to do the Rosh Chodesh blessing too. Oopsie daisy. I remembered the lunch, but I forgot the blessing. Rosh Chodesh lunch is on Thursday at 11:30. Ladies, it's a ladies' holiday. Bring your lunch. We need some guys to do guys' holidays, and I see a lot of guys here. We're going to have to do something for you. But this is a ladies' time for lunch, and we've been having a nice little group that we sit in, we talk, and we have lunch. So come join us 11:30 for lunch. And then next Saturday night, the religious school is doing something called a star party. It's supposed to be at the American Rose Center. Watch your emails. There's details in the bulletin. And I want to remind you that office hours are 9 to 12 during the summer. I want to thank Claire and Debbie and Rachel for helping us start our Shabbat with some blessings. That was actually nicely coordinated. That was good. Thank you. And donations were made to B'nai Zion or for Pulpit Flowers in memory of Bessie W. Friedenthal from her family, in memory of Richard Golder by Kathy Plant and family, in memory of Alfred Hyman by Dorothy and Bernard Lobel, and in loving memory of Alexander Benjamin Maisel by Claire and Debbie and family. And we now have to turn to page 162, because I almost forgot. And so according to my calendar, where's Bernard when I need him for this? So we have 2 days of Rosh Chodesh. We are ending the month of Sivan, and we are starting the month of Tammuz. So Rosh Chodesh is going to be on Wednesday and Thursday. That's the answer, 162. We'll find out what the question is. Yehi ratzon milfanecha Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu shetechadesh aleinu et hachodesh haba. Our God and God of our ancestors, may the new month bring us renewed good and blessing. May we have long life, peace, prosperity, and health, a life full of blessing, a life exalted by love of Torah and reverence for the divine, a life in which the longings of our hearts are fulfilled for good. Wondrous God, in ancient days you led our people from bondage to freedom. Redeem us now out of our exile from one another, making all Israel one united people. Rosh Chodesh Tammuz Yeh b'yamei Rivi'i v'chamishi. The new month of Tammuz will begin on Wednesday and Thursday. We read together. God of holiness, let the new month bring for us and for the whole house of Israel life and peace, happiness and joy, deliverance and comfort, and let us say Amen. And now I'd like to invite everybody to turn to page 148. Everybody under 13, please come up and help me. If you'd like to, be honored by popping up and helping me open the ark. You coming up? You open the ark? Come on. Everyone else, please rise when the ark is open. If you can walk, I should say, you should come up. Crash. Aleinu leshabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula leyotzer bereshit, shelo asanu kegoyei aratzot, velo samanu kemishpachot adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. And in the middle of page 149 we sing, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. When the arks are closed, you may be seated. Ooh, we got to do something about that. That was a very noisy. It wasn't your fault. We were supposed to put stuff in there. We're still fixing this place. Ah, good. Thank you, ladies. You may be seated. It is with a heavy heart and great sadness that I report to you that we had a loss this past week. This loss was a civilian who was part of the Defense Logistics Agency in Anniston, Alabama, but she was deployed to the services in Bagram as part of a civilian expeditionary workforce. Her name was Chrissy K. Davis, and she was 54. And she died in Afghanistan this past week. We continue on page 151. Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, let us meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. I invite you to turn to page 153. Life is finite. Like a candle, it burns, it glows, it's radiant with warmth and beauty. Then it fades, its substance is consumed, and it is no more. In light, we see. In light, we are seen. The flames dance, and our lives are full. But as night follows day, the candle of our life burns down in gutters. There's an end to the flames. We see no more and are no more seen. Yet we do not despair, for we are more than a memory slowly fading into the darkness. With our lives we give life. Something of us can never die. We move in the eternal cycle of darkness and death, of light and life. However brief may be our time on earth, O God, you endow our fleeting days with abiding worth. We now recall the loved ones whom death has taken from us these past 30 days. We remember Bill Otto, Stephen Sletsky, and Babette Kamens. And as we remember those who died at this season in years past, we take them into our hearts with our own. Those for whom we're observing Yortzeit this week include Leroy Bailey and Randolph Charles Bailey, Eve Baskowitz, Barbara Lane Bronner, Ergie Nagy Deutsch, Ethel Willer Eltis, Bessie W. Friedenthal, Sadie Friedman, Walter L. Gerson, Richard Golder, You say Golder? Goulder? Goulder, thank you. I don't want to say his name wrong, thank you. Richard Goulder, Alfred Hyman, Alexander Benjamin Mazel, Helene Robbie Meyer, Dr. Lawrence Joseph Blanchard, Julia E. Rutman, and Hilda W. Wolbert. In this moment of memory, our griefs and sympathies are mingled. Loving God, we rise as together we praise your name. The Mourner's Kaddish is found on page 154. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah, Be'alma divrach chiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh, B'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah mevarach la'alam ul'amei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yit'alev v'yithalal Shemei tekudsha b'richu. La'elam min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbehata v'nechemata. Da'amiran ba'alma v'imru Amen. Yehei shalama rabba min shemaya. V'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom imromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. Amen. You may be seated. Guess what I got for you? As you know, whenever you're bringing your family back to come worship with us, I'm going to let you guys do the motzi for us. So these two families brought people back. So come on, hold on, and say the motzi for us.
Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam.
Motzi lechem min haaretz b'te'avon. Go ahead, grab some bread and share it with everybody. There's more up there, by the way. I'm going to let you do this. Thank you for coming back. We love this. It proves to everybody this is still home. We now rise for the closing benediction. You already got your shot. You're here, 3 generations here. It is a blessing for us to be here together. I love that you've chosen to take your Shabbat and spend it with us together here. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you. May God protect you. Yair Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. May the light of God's face shine upon you, be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God's face always be lifted up to you. May God grant you peace. Shabbat shalom. Bim bum bim 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 bum bim 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 bum chiri biri biri bim bum bim 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 bum bim 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 bum. I don't know. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. You need to be